Hey everybody, it's Christmas time and we are back in the kitchen. We've got a very special treat this time around. We are going to be making holiday cutout cookies. Now, if you recall from last Christmas, I was actually in the middle of making the cookies, but a little detour came. I got a phone call and I had to actually alter my recipe for the cookies into another creation. So this year, there are no detours. So let's get started. Okay, so what we have here are really old cutouts. Actually, they don't even make these anymore, especially this guy right here. If you want to go on eBay and try to locate some of these, you may pay a pretty penny. So, as I say, these are really old. They go back generations, but they're really good, and the cookies always taste better when you're using the real McCoys here. Of course, you got the different designs. You got the Christmas trees. You got stars. Got look like a little sleigh here. This guy is actually made out of tin, a little diamond shape. But yeah, these are what we're going to be using to as our molds to cut out the cookies. Really simple process. So as I say, I would highly encourage you to try to search for these guys, maybe on in an auction or yard sale or eBay. They really are so much more user friendly than today's kind of garbage. But they work very well, and as you'll see, and as you'll taste. So let's get started. Okay, so first off, preliminary info on this. Um, what I did earlier, and this is an extra step that you'll have to take, is prepare your dough. That's going to be your main source for the cutouts, obviously. Okay, so where did I get the dough from? Okay, you have a couple of options. You could go to your local supermarket and buy ready-made dough. However, you're going to have to deal with the ingredients in there, most likely a preservative. If you're not into that, like I am not, I like to make my dough naturally right on the spot. So I actually made this dough in a bread machine on the pizza dough cycle. Okay, so if you're a fan of pizza, you'll know that you're dealing with five ingredients, right? Water, salt, yeast, olive oil, and flour. Okay, so for our purposes, what we're going to do is we're going to use four of those ingredients, everything except the yeast, right? We don't want our cookies rising. So this is an example of a pizza dough minus the yeast. Okay, really simple. If you've got a bread machine, it works out fine. You throw it in, you throw the ingredients in the machine, press the button, come back an hour and a half later or so, and you've got your nice dough. Okay, a couple of pointers on ingredients. You may not know this, but you have a choice of flours. I like to go with regular all-purpose flour. Of course, there are specialty flours out there like pastry flour. There's Italian double O flour, which they use in bakeries a lot. However, for our purposes, a general all-purpose flour is sufficient. Um, Really important point, which a lot of people don't know when they're picking flowers out. Really hard to tell. Actually, you have to read the fine print. Make sure you get unbleached flour. Very, very important. You don't want bleached flour. Why? Because bleached flour is basically a process of ripping all the nutrients out of regular flour. So why eat that when you can eat something that's a little bit nutritious? Bleached flour is basically used in pastry shops and stuff when they want to cosmetically make their products look better, right? It's very, very white, bleached. But I would say I would highly recommend not using bleached flour just because of health reasons. So always go with unbleached flour. Again, all-purpose flour is fine. You can go with more specialty flours, as I said, a little more expensive, but there's always a better taste. Okay, so first off, I want to coat my table with a little bit of flour. Obviously, I don't want the dough sticking to the table. So ready, much prepared, and I'll stick that on there. Move it out a little bit. It's always good to work it with your hands. like in the old days, right? Okay, so basically what I'm doing is my objective is to create a really thin, rounded mold of dough, and that's going to serve as the foundation for my cutouts. So I'm going to put my cutouts in, pop them, take them out, put them in the oven. So real simple. This process, I'll be using a roller. And of course, you can continue using your hands like they did in the old days, right? And I'll continue this until I get a real, maybe, I would say 1/8 of an inch thickness to my dough. Okay, so our next step is we're going to basically take the molds and we're going to just basically go around, kind of keeping the mold figures close together. The closer they are together, the more cookies you're going to get, right? So basically really simple. You just want to press in, not to waste any space. And you just go around, continuing along. Real simple. Okay, so once you have your collection, and if I had more, I would continue around, but I like to keep, on and off, on and off. So basically very simple. You're just going to press down, make sure they're down. You want to make sure they're down to get a good cut into the dough. Okay, this guy could have been cut a little bit more, so you may need a knife here and there to go along and just do some trimmings. This guy's almost ready. All right, so there we have our first little cookie, and he's ready to go into the oven, and we'll just continue around until we get all of them. Okay, so once you've exhausted your dough and you come up with a lot of scrap, this is actually going to be used again. So you're going to take what's left over from the cuts. You're going to do the same thing. Okay, just mix it up together, squeeze it together, put it down, and you're going to roll it out, and you're going to redo the process all over again. Okay, so we're ready, almost ready for our first batch to go in the oven, and that will be a 325-degree oven just for about 10 minutes or so, but keep your eye on it. When it gets golden brown, then you know it's ready. But there are a couple of options here before you put it in the oven. First off, I would highly recommend using parchment paper. That keeps the pan clean. All right, you keep it clean each time. You don't have to worry about washing it. And it's very good. Does the trick. Comes right out. Doesn't burn. Keeps it from sticking. The whole 9 yards. You'll really like it. But as far as the toppings on this, there are so many different varieties that you could use. You could put cherries on top. You could put walnuts, almonds. You could put the traditional ice cream cone jimmies on top. Pure cinnamon could go on top. But what I like to do is wait until it comes out of the oven, and I like to put just plain old 100% natural jelly right on top. Tastes perfect. Well, the cookies are in there. I can't wait to taste them. Just a few more minutes. See you next time in the kitchen.